Thank you guys for joining me on another edition of Against the Odds Betting. Shout out to me. Tomorrow is my birthday, so looking forward tonight to trying to smash those books, trying to get us some winning, trying to cash a winning parlay tonight. Right? Let's get it. So far for the week, yesterday I was off. So far for the week, we've been doing really well over the span of 3 days. 20, 21, and 3. I believe for that time span, which is really well for any single individual bettors out there that has been following the channel. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. And if you're watching the video, if you happen to come across it, you haven't already done so in terms of like or subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment. Right, help the algorithm grow. Basically, someone else going on YouTube, they're more likely to see our channel. Right. Tonight, I got 4 plays for you guys, 3 of them in the NBA, 1 in the NHL. The first one I'm going to start with the Sixers, because that game do start at 7:10. While I'm currently recording this, it is at 6:41. So you guys do have about a 25-30 minute window, depends on when you see this video. Hopefully you guys can see it early enough, right? So we have the 76ers taking on the Detroit Pistons in tonight's matchup. And let me just say, right, we look at the Sixers, they're coming off a victory at home versus the Boston Celtics. But tonight will be their, after a long homestand, will actually be their first time going on the road, right? After defeating the 76ers, I'm pretty sure Joel Embiid and company such as Tyrese Maxey, even Tobias Harris, which have been doing really well quietly, have been doing really well in terms of scoring and stuff like that, helping his team out, right? But after that victory, going on the road, and you think about the Detroit Pistons, right? Besides from K coming in, which I wouldn't necessarily want to be my number one offensive player leading my team, right? Not saying he's a bad player or anything like that, but you're going to need more to beat a 76er Joel Embiid team. First of all, it is going to be hard to stop Joel Embiid down there in the low block. So anywhere in the free throw line area, close to the basket, he's going to be passing the ball if they double team him down there. If not, he's going to be getting putbacks and even fouled. He's going to get fouled, right? So that's going to allow him to get to the free throw line and hit his points. So in tonight's matchup, I'm looking at the 76ers to actually beat the Detroit Pistons. Now on the line, they do have them at -9.5. So it depends on how you want to take that. If you want to take the money line, the spread is at -360 currently on my sports betting book. Of course, based on which sports betting book you have, it will currently change, right? But we're taking the 76ers. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to take your team, how much points you want to take, or if you want to take them on the run line. That's up to you personally, right? But we're definitely taking the 76ers over the Detroit Pistons, because Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, a 1-2 punch with everything they have else over there. Shout out to Oubre. As I said, shout out to Tobias Harris. And you do have guys like coming off the bench, and sometimes even in the starting lineup, DeAndre Melton, which these are guys that can go out there and hit threes, right? You do have Patrick Beverly coming off the bench, which is one of those gritty guys that can actually go play good defense and force their opponents into tough shots, right? Moving on to the second one, this game is at 7:40. We have the Boston Celtics taking on the New Jersey Nets, or the Brooklyn Nets at this point, right? Because they did change their name. In this one, after Boston coming off that loss to the 76ers, I feel as though they have a little chip on their shoulder coming back home, whatever the case may be, because they do have the new addition of Porzingis over there, which can go out there and knock down shots on a nightly basis, right? He can create for himself, which will always free up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and guys like those to actually get their points, get their rebounds, get their assists, and everything that they need to do. Now, in terms of the Nets, they're actually going to be missing Cam Thompson tonight, which Cam Thompson on the season, he's been averaging about 28 points, right? We also have Nick Claxton that's out. He haven't played, I don't believe, any games so far this season. Last time I checked on the injury report, Ben Simmons was also questionable. Game time decision, something like that as well. But overall, Boston is a better team, head and shoulders. Today, tomorrow, versus the Brooklyn Nets. We don't have too much superstar on the Brooklyn side, right? Well, when you look at the Boston Celtics, you can see year in and year out what they have done in terms of improving and getting better. So I don't look. No, you got to credit Brooklyn because they have been covering the spread. They're one of the better teams in terms of actually keeping the game close, not getting blown out or anything like that. But tonight, going on the road, shorthanded, without one of their top scorers, I look for Boston and Jason Tatum to do some revenge. Kind of a get feel right spot for the Boston Celtics in front of their home fans. Right. The only thing about that is their money line is a -600. Right. Run line is, I believe, 12.5, 11.5, depends on your sports betting book. We seen that Boston definitely have the ability to cover because when they're gonna beat you, they're gonna beat you like you stole something, right? So I don't see no reason why they shouldn't be able to cover the spread. But just for safety on that one, I would say if you're going Boston, you can take the money line, maybe find a player prop in there, the one that you like best to actually minimize that price for you as well, right? My next game I'm going to be looking at will be the Timberwolves versus the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs is at home after coming off that loss versus the New York Knicks in the Madison Square Garden, which Victor, number 1 draft pick, he had a really hard time there. Bronson and Randall, they actually came to play that night. Really, they did a really good job to keeping the Spurs at bay. And tonight, the Spurs have a really difficult challenge, in my opinion, right? Because you do have a Minnesota team that did beat Denver in Denver, which is our defending champion, right? One of my favorite teams in the NBA, right? Also, they defeated Boston Celtics in Boston. So these are two of the juggernaut teams, right? One in the East and one in the West, in which the Timberwolves have beat handily, if I should say so, right? 15, 20 plus points in each of those respective contests as well, right? So tonight, I'm looking forward to the Timberwolves actually beating the Spurs. Based on one analysis that I have would be that with Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards there, that is too much for Victor Wembanyama to actually handle right there, because maybe a generation talent, a great player to come, but right now he does not have the body size, right, to actually bang with somebody like Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns down there in a low block. Not that he won't get his shots, not that he won't get his points or anything like that, but it's going to be a challenge for him, right? Because you have bigger bodies that you actually have to go up contest after contest after contest in terms of possession after possession, right? So it's going to be a grueling game for the Spurs. And one of the people that I'm going to be looking at that game as well, if you want to look at a player prop, Anthony Edwards, right? Phenomenal player. We've seen the last game what he amount of points he done put up coming off. So Karl Anthony Edwards, I see on the line they have him at over under 26.5 points. I actually do like that, right? I'm looking forward for him to have a big game against the Spurs, because I don't really think that they have too many people over there that can stop him. And this is a guy that can hit. He do shoot threes, right? Multiple threes per contest, right? Averaging just about 1.5, maybe 2 threes per contest. Also, he's a mid-range guru, so he will shoot the ball time and time again at the mid-range, and he's definitely going to drive the ball to the hoop, right? If you foul him, he's decent enough to make majority of his free throw shots, so he's not somebody that you necessarily want to foul, right? So in that one, I'm taking the Minnesota Timberwolves over the San Antonio Spurs. And if you want to play a prop, I'm looking for Anthony Edwards over 26.5 points. If you do want to reduce that, that's fine as well. Also, you can look at his points and assists, which I believe they have it at 37.5. I do like that for a -110, -115 as well. Passing the ball, getting points. In last game, he had 30 plus points, right? So that would pretty much cover half of what you needed for the 37.5 if you do want to take that route. My last play is going to be in the NHL to wrap things up. You do have the San Antonio Sharks taking San Jose Sharks taking on the Vegas Golden Knights, right? Vegas coming off a loss. The Sharks coming off a win, right? Last night, playing on back-to-back games. And if you look at their record dating back to last season, as far as you can think about it, the Sharks on back-to-back days is actually not very profitable in terms of a betting. Vegas, on the other hand, 1 day rest, at least 45 to 50 wins in terms of when they have at least been able to have 1 days off, right? Especially being at home. And tonight is a night where, listen, normally I would say take the money line or run line, Vegas Golden Knights -1.5. And if you want to, you can sprinkle some money on the -2.5 because Vegas should control this game from start to finish, should beat the Sharks like they stole something. And this is a revenge spot for me, right? Because last time I took the Philadelphia Flyers to beat the Sharks beat them. The Flyers with only to score 1 goal. Vegas Golden Knight is not going to go out there and score one goal, especially after beating my favorite team, having them not score a single goal in the entire game. Recently, Vegas beat Colorado Avalanche 7-0. Colorado was not able to score not 1 goal in that entire game. They're not about to go out there and fuck around with the Sharks. Vegas Golden Knights -1.5. Timberwolves over the Spurs. Boston Celtics over the Nets. And the 76ers over the Pistons. If you do want to play a prop, Anthony Edwards over 26.5 points. And also, if you also want to stick with that, you can do his points and assists for over 37.5. I do support it as well. As always, good luck to you. Better luck to me if you guys haven't always done so. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.